Hello and welcome to my channel, Heartfelt Crochets by Darlene. Today is going to be another crochet with me, and I was trying to figure out what to crochet, and I was going through a bunch of my patterns that I downloaded on Etsy, and I came across one that is a really simple pattern. It would be really good for beginners, and it's an amigurumi pattern, and I haven't crocheted it yet myself. It's something that I just had printed out because I thought it would be fun for my great-grandson, because it was summertime, and when, you know, he came over and wanted an ice cream, I would go ahead and give him this one to see his face. However, haven't made it yet, so I can't do that with him yet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to crochet that with you today. So this is crocheting it for the first time. This pattern is by Stitchaholic, downloaded off Etsy. And it's these sugar cones with a scoop of ice cream. And today I want to go ahead, you know, it was a toss-up between the strawberry and the vanilla. I think I'm going to go ahead with the vanilla because I like the colorful sprinkles and I think that they show up more. So, yeah, that's the one that I'm going with. So if you want to crochet this with me, let's go ahead and crochet. All right, so to make the ice cream cone, it was a little bit of a lighter color, like a tan colored yarn for the cone. But I don't have that color on hand, so I am going to go ahead and I'm going to use this color. It's called Teddy Bear. And all of the yarns that I'm using today are Parfait Chunky Chenille yarns. And I get that through Premier Yarns. And I'll go ahead and put the link in the description below the video. So this is Teddy Bear. And this one is simply yellow, bubblegum, cornflower, and white. So this is for the cone, this is for the ice cream scoop, and these three colors I am using for the sprinkles. We're going to start with a white and we're going to make the ice cream. We are going to, now the pattern calls for a 6mm crochet hook. That's going to be a rather large cone, and I don't want it to be that large, so I'm going to downsize and go with a 5.0mm hook. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a stitch marker, and then a yarn needle. These I'm going to go ahead and set aside, and we're going to start with the white yarn. There. And it says to create a magic ring. Come on. I like to tighten my ring up ahead of time because this chenille yarn isn't always cooperative when you want to tighten the ring after putting your stitches inside of the ring. So we are going to single crochet 6 inside of this ring. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to see if I can be able to tighten that just a little bit. All right, and then for row 2, it is increasing in each stitch around. So I'm going to insert a hook into the first stitch, and we are going to crochet 2 single crochets into that stitch, and that is an increase. We're going to place our stitch marker into the first stitch, and then we are going to crochet 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and repeat that all the way around until you reach your stitch marker. And then one last stitch. And that completes round 2. Now for round 3, we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. Remove your stitch marker. Single crochet. And replace your stitch marker. And then increase in the next stitch. And then single crochet in the next stitch and increase in the next stitch, and you're going to repeat that around. Now with such a light yarn, it can be easy to miss a stitch. So what we're going to do is count when we get to the end of this round to make sure that we have 18 stitches. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. All right. Remove your stitch marker. Round 4 is 2 single crochets and increase, and do that for 6 times. So single crochet in the next stitch and replace your stitch marker. Single crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. That's an increase. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and repeat that same thing till you reach your stitch marker. Okay, 1, 1, and 2 single crochets in the last stitch. And then you should have 24 single crochets in that round. Remove your stitch marker, and round 5 is going to be 3 single crochets and then an increase, and that sequence for 6 times as well. So 1 single crochet, replace your stitch marker, and then a single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch as an increase. 1, and then 1 in the next, and then 1 in the next, and then 2 single crochets in the next, and repeat that around. Okay, it looks like I got to do that 2 more times. Okay, 1, and then 1, and then 1, and then 2 in the last stitch. Okay, that completes round 5. Now for round 6, 7, 8, and 9, so for 4 more rounds, you are going to simply single crochet around. So it'll be 30 single crochets. Replace your stitch marker. And we're going to do that for 4 rounds. Did you guys have a good 4th of July? Did you go see the fireworks? Me and hubby went to our usual spot, and the finale was phenomenal this year. It was so spectacular. I'm going to go ahead and put just a little clip of the video that I filmed of the finale on this video so you can see what I'm talking about, but it was beautiful. You know, it was from start to finish, it was like 27 minutes, I believe, and throughout it was nice. It was like any other fireworks show that you go see. But this finale, wow. And the reason why I am going on about it is because this wasn't a town or a city that put on this fireworks show. This was a private owner. They have a small business in a very small town. They have a bed and breakfast business. And every year they put on this phenomenal show that they don't charge anybody for any entry or parking or anything, and it has become such a popular location. So I hope you guys had a really good 4th of July. So this is round 3 of the 30 single crochets around. So if you want, you just go ahead and take your time doing these 4 rounds, and I will meet you at the finish line. Okay, so for round 10, we are going to go into the front loop only. So not through both, just through the front loop. And she says to skip the first stitch and then 3 double crochets in the next stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook under the front loop only, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, repeat that. Yarn over under the front loop only. Get under there. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And 1 more double crochet in that same front loop only. And then she says to slip stitch in the next stitch, front loop only. And then skip the next stitch and double crochet in the next one, front loop only. Double crochet in that same space, and then 1 more double crochet in that same space, and then a slip stitch in the next front loop only. And you're going to repeat that around. Skip, go into the next stitch under the front loop only, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and then slip stitch in the next stitch, front loop only. Now we are at our last one where we do 3 double crochets in this stitch. And then slip stitch in the last stitch. And then we are going to fasten off. So go ahead and cut the yarn pull through. Now you can see where we ended. So I like to go ahead and do an invisible join. So I go ahead and I just insert my yarn needle under the front loop only of that next stitch. And then in the back loop of that last stitch that we just pulled through. And now you can't even notice where you joined. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just weave this through a couple of these stitches back here. Just to give it a little bit of extra security. And then I'm going to snip that, but not all the way close. And then I'm going to snip this bottom one a little bit, so it's not quite so long. And then those will just be tucked in. Now, next she says to attach color B, which is the color of the cone. And like I said, I'm using Teddy Bear today. All right, so now you can't see where we ended. So that's good. There's no particular place that you have to start. Isn't that cute? She says that we are going to attach the color to round 9, which is where we went into the front loop only. You're going to go into the inside and you're going to be able to see the back side of those loops that we didn't go into. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to insert our hook under one of those back loops that we didn't crochet into. And we are going to just drape our yarn over the hook and draw through a loop. Grab the working yarn and chain 1, and then pull tight just a little bit. Now you're going to have to hang on to this back one just so it doesn't come loose, just for a minute, just for now. And then we are going to crochet a single crochet in each of those back loops. So it's going to be a little bit tricky. It's going to be hard to see. But we're going to go ahead and go under that next back loop and single crochet. And then under that next back loop. Yep, it's going to be tricky to see. Don't get frustrated. Now remember, we skipped a stitch, but you're still going to go into the back loop of that stitch. So this part is probably going to end up being a little difficult, but then once we get past this, it's going to be easy breezy again. This is attaching the cone underneath of the ice cream scoop, so you're not even going to see this part. So when you turn it back over You're not even going to see that part, and the cone's going to come from underneath the scoop. So just kind of feel it. Let your hook catch it. We already went into that one, so you know you got to go into the next one. Single crochet. And then let your hook catch the next one. So if you can't see it, that's all right. Just know that there's one right next to it. You don't want to go in the same one. Just let your hook catch it. Take your time. If you get frustrated, just pause the video. Walk away. Take a deep breath. Come back. See, that's the same one, so you got to go in the next one. And when you're done, you should have 30 single crochets. See, that's the same one. So go over to the next one. So you go mess with this as I mess with mine, and I will meet you back here. All right, so when you get to the end, you're going to see a little bit of a space, so you're going to know that you have one more in there. And then we are going to do a single crochet in each single crochet around. So single crochet in this next stitch. Place your stitch marker. We're not going to turn our cone inside out just yet because this is still underneath of these ruffles and it will be hard to work. So we're going to wait until we get past these ruffles, then we'll turn our cone inside out and continue working. All right, so we are going to single crochet in each stitch all the way around. I know that last row was a little tricky, but if you're going to be crocheting amigurumi, you're going to run into those situations where it's going to end up getting a little tricky, but just persevere, push forward, and you will be glad you did at the end when you take a look at what you crocheted, your finished product. And the more you do it, the easier it's going to be. So don't say, oh, I can't do this. Yes, you can. Okay, and then for round 3, 8 single crochets and then a decrease, and then it says to repeat that 3 times. So remove your stitch marker and single crochet in the next stitch and replace excuse me, replace your stitch marker. I'm going to put this down just for a second. I need to take a drink of water. Okay. I was getting a little dry. Okay, so that was 1 and 2, 3. All right, so there's a couple different ways that you can do a decrease. You can insert your hook into the next loop and pull up a loop, insert your hook into the next loop, pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3. That leaves a little bit of a bigger hole, and it is obvious where you decreased. I like to do an invisible decrease, which is put your hook under the front loop of the next stitch, put your hook under the front loop of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through that loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You can't tell where I just decreased, and it doesn't leave a large hole. So that's what I am going to do throughout the rest of this pattern. It is totally up to you which decrease you want to use. Okay, so we're going to repeat that sequence again, and we are going to create a single crochet in each stitch for the next 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and decrease. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and decrease. Now for round 4, just 27 single crochets in each stitch around. Place your stitch marker. Two, 3, 4, 5. Just continue this round. I'll meet you at the end. And then we are at the last single crochet. Now we can go ahead and flip our cone inside out because we are past the point. That's cool. That's pretty neat. Okay, so for round 5, it's 7 single crochets and decrease. So there's 1, and replace your stitch marker. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and decrease. Okay, and then for round 6, we are going to single crochet in each stitch around for 24 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to just continue single crocheting around till you meet your stitch marker, and I will meet you at the end. And you will have 24 single crochets in this row when you're finished. Okay, and the last single crochet. And then for row 7, it's 6 single crochets and decrease. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and decrease. Then for row 8, we are going to single crochet in the next 21 stitches around. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again I will meet you at the end of this row. And the last 2 stitches. All right, for row, let's see, row 9, we're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches and then decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease. I think my camera is just a little too close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease. Oops. Come on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last decrease. And now it's 18 single crochets around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoop. Yeah, we're still crocheting around. Almost got lost there for a second. Okay, and each round is getting quicker and quicker as we're decreasing. Okay, so that was 18 single crochets. Now for round 11, it's 4 single crochets and decrease. Three, 4, and decrease. One, 2, 3, 4, and decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, and decrease. Now single crochet in the next 15 stitches around. After this row, I'm going to go ahead and stuff it. And 5. 10. 'Somewhere along the line, I think I missed one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Nope, I got 15. All right. Let's add some stuffing to this. Just going to break it up just a little bit so it's not quite so pounded together, stuck together. Okay. Now we're going to push it down into that ice cream scoop. I want to make sure that that's nice and round and firm up in there. Okay. Kind of shape it a little bit. And keep on stuffing the cone. Oh, a little bit too much. Make sure you get it down around the edges. Alright, before we stuff it anymore, we're going to go ahead and shape it a little bit. We don't want to bulge it out. We want to make sure that it's shaped like a cone. Because if you keep stuffing it, you can make it bulge out and be a straight line, and you don't want that to happen. So just play with it a little bit. Okay. All right. So where are we at? Round 13 is 3 single crochets and a decrease. Oh, come on. Okay. Gonna get a little bit harder to handle because it's stuffed. So 1, 2, 3, decrease, 1, 2, 3, decrease, 1, 2, 3, and decrease. And then 12 single crochets around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, and 12. Now 2 single crochets and decrease. 2, decrease. 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, and decrease. Now we're going to add a little bit more stuffing. Okay. Now the last row is going to be 1 single crochet, decrease, and do that 3 times as well. So 1 single crochet and decrease. One single crochet in the next stitch and then decrease, and then 1 single crochet and decrease. Now go ahead and cut your yarn. Give it probably a good like 3 or 4 inches. I'm going to pull through. Put the last little bit of stuffing in the tip. Then we are going to thread our yarn needle. And then if you count, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to take our yarn needle and insert it into the front loop only of each stitch around. And then in this last one here, give it a little tug. Then we are going to insert our hook right at the tip and just have it come out anywhere. Pull through. And then back in. Close to it and out the bottom, and then cut that yarn. Now when we pulled that yarn through, it kind of like pulled that bottom tight, so we just want to kind of go in and just kind of pull that point out again. So the cone has that point. Okay. All right. So there is our ice cream cone. Let me zoom out. Oops, I messed up my focus. Okay. And like I said, play with it and kind of like push that stuffing down a little bit and shape your cone. Now we are going to go ahead and add some sprinkles. And what you do with that is, let me put some of this aside. All right, so let's start with the bubble gum. And just cut off a foot or so and thread your yarn needle just a little bit, leave the long tail. Now we're going to kind of come in at an angle and come up somewhere over here, and we're going to pull all the way through and leave just a little bit out, and I'll show you why when we finish with this. So now we're going to go ahead and randomly just create our sprinkles. So we'll probably want the sprinkle to be probably about this long. So we're going to go ahead and insert our hook here. And then come out where you would want your next sprinkle. We're just going to randomly place sprinkles. So we're going to pull that out. Don't pull too tight. And then whatever direction you want that sprinkle to go. Come out over here. Maybe over here. Play with it. Have fun. Just randomly put your sprinkles. Go down here. Loosen that up just a little bit. Okay, and I think I'm going to call that good for the pink sprinkles. So I'm going to come back out where I went in. Come on. Okay. And then I'm going to cut that yarn. And tie a little knot. Then I'm going to take my hook and put it in somewhere and out where that knot is. I'm going to grab a hold of that yarn. Pull it down through that other hole. And then do it again over here. And then cut it again. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing with the yellow. If you enjoyed making this ice cream cone with me, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more videos and tutorials, crochet with me's, and look what I've made. And sooner or later it'll be markets and different things like that. And then don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified of upcoming videos. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to link the pattern and the yarns that I have used in the description box below the video. Make your knot. Can cut your yarn so that it's the same length if you wish, so it's easier to pull through. Just insert your hook and up where the knot is. Pull it through. And then just do it again randomly anywhere. Cut that yarn. You can go back and make sure that you don't have some that are too tight, like we did with the pink ones. Okay, now last but not least, let's go for some blue sprinkles. So let's go ahead and start our blue over here. I might have shorted myself a little bit on the blue. Let's see if I can make it over here. I did. Okay. Just go somewhere next to it. Snip that. So there are the beautiful sprinkles. And there's our ice cream cone. Thanks for doing this video with me. Like I said, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time.